Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and we had a flash verdict in less than 3 hours. I understand that was much less than 3 hours. The verdict of Alex Murdaugh was in less than 30 minutes. They took 1 hour to have dinner, the jury, and then 1 hour for paperwork, and they had the final verdict by in terms of Europe by midnight. And what I saw here, I was expecting any other reaction from Murdaugh upon hearing the verdict of being guilty of murdering his wife and his son. He was just nodding his head over and over again, very slightly, just the same that we analyze him on that testimony he gave, that when he was acknowledging that he claimed that he did not shoot his wife and his son. He was nodding. He was making this gesture with his head. And we also proved that he had the ability of saying no when he wanted to be emphatic. So I saw that as a huge red flag. And in this case, apart from pressing his lips here and there, his shoulders are rather relaxed. I don't know if he's medicated or something. Presses his jaw muscles every now and then. There is almost no expression on his eyes, besides the only real emotional reaction that I could spot was blinking rate was faster right at the moment of listening to the verdict. That you were found guilty. He was found guilty of the two murders, and he was found guilty of carrying of the weapon carrying, and other charge that I cannot remember now. Some have said that maybe he is actually a psychopath, that he really doesn't feel if he is a psychopath. Well, I've seen many kinds of psychopaths, and quite some of them have fooled me in spectacular ways. And I can tell you again, I will say the words. The judge said words like this, that we are not quite sure if he was the one who pulled the trigger. He has been given the verdict already. He is guilty. But regardless, if he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger, he was there when the murders happened. So he must know who it was. Well, he has information that he is not giving away for some reason, but regardless, he is responsible and guilty as charged. I don't know. I always hide my doubts. Many lawyers that I was following also had their doubts that most of them thought that this was going to be a hung jury, that they were not going to be unanimous on their decision. And again, it's baffling to me seeing a person that is much more relaxed, much more accepting what is going on than he was. Well, in his testimony, it's logical that he was nervous, but he was like nervous at all the wrong times. And I also have a video where I took a look at that police footage, the body cam footage. And it was odd to see that he, had this strange demeanor and asking this question if they had checked if they were dead. He asked that question twice. That was off. That was quite off. I'm not gonna say a bit off. That was quite a big, really off. And the fact that he was like crying, and then someone passed by, and he just changed his demeanor immediately and said, "Hey, like, how you doing?" or something. It was also a red flag. Maybe he is a psychopath. There are signs of psychopathy in the terms of all the financial frauds and embezzlement and all the crimes, all the financial crimes that he was also being prosecuted in other processes during this trial, before this trial. So it's not surprising that he could be that. I have to say, I'm not gonna say that I nail an analysis all the time. I only saw those two contradictions in his body languages, and I never reached a solid conclusion on only two signals. In fact, you might remember at the end of that video that my conclusion was that he did not pull the trigger, that he knows who it was, that he is involved in some way, that he has information that he did not he decided not to reveal for some reason, but that he might not be a murderer. I might be wrong. That took me, I have to tell you, I'm going to confess this to you. This took me by surprise. I never thought that he was going to be found guilty of the murders. I am not defending him either. I'm not claiming that he is absolutely innocent. I am not saying that it is not being done, justice is not being served. But I didn't think that with only circumstantial evidence, but quite solid circumstantial evidence at the same time, having all those recordings from the from those Snapchats and those videos where people could clearly hear his voice in the background. Like, there was no way. It was the time frame of the murders was so tight, was so incredibly tight, and the fact that he lied to the police and to the SLED agents. He lied to them, saying that he was not at the kennels when he actually was. And the clothes that he was wearing in those videos were nowhere to be found. And the weapon, which with they were killed, they knew that he was the owner of a similar weapon, and that exact weapon was nowhere to be found. Now, it's in circumstantial terms, too many things, too many inconsistencies on his body language, but still, I did not imagine. I could not imagine that. I have to say that it got me by surprise. Now we know that he has been sentenced to life without parole, and well, there's still so many going on this. Again, I'm baffled, rather confused by his non-reaction, but maybe at some point I will be able to do a summary of what I've seen so far. Maybe I will be able to see, I don't know, clues or signals that I did not pick up on the three times that I've watched this video. But still, I doubt it. It's some of you. I would really like to know, what do you think about this non-reaction of Alex Murdaugh listening to the final verdict of being found guilty on all charges. Let me know what do you think in the comments. My Body Language Buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy, and remember to download my 100 Body Language tips right in the description of this video. Much love and bliss.